Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Rytan number RY89 quick change assembly. This is a piece from an RY100 or an RY200 series key machine, and is packaged with many things that Rytan does, with lots of additional sales marketing material, which is always extremely handy to have. If you're not familiar with if you're buying a quick change assembly, you're obviously familiar with Rytan. If you are not, and somehow seeing this video, you'll want to review their products. They are a premier manufacturer of very high quality key machines, and in fact I know absolutely that they manufacture key machines and the components for them for at least one major lock manufacturer that has been in business for 100 years. So they're an OEM. I have owned a couple of their machines, and they are just predictable, reliable, repeatable. I have cut tens and tens of thousands of keys on their machines. Replacing a cutter, adjusting your gauges can be very time consuming, and it's not because it's difficult to adjust, it is, but their machine is so well manufactured that you literally will be able to, in my opinion, detect the circumference of the wheel and its irregularity. If you took their a cutter wheel and you had the radius, let's say you measured it in, you could measure it in 1,000 points around that circumference. It's not perfectly round. You'll get to a point where you'll cut a key and then you'll make the finest of adjustment, and then it's on the other side of where you want it to be. And you can really detect it down to that level. And that's why it takes long, because I then become quite committed to getting it as dialed in perfect as I can to the 1/1000th to the 1/10,000th of an inch. And their machinery, their equipment is just phenomenal. Let's take a look at the two links that are below this video. Now on the page that we're looking at, we've got the exploded view that's here, and this is an RY89. Exploded view, if you do a find function on your keyboard for RY89, you'll find where it occurs. Part number 52, top vice jaw. So we're obvious, once you know what the part is, you know where on the drawing to look. So we're looking for the top vice jaw. And there indeed is our part 52. Okay. RY100, RY200 series parts list is here. As you study this drawing, you can, especially if you have one at your disposal, you can certainly familiarize yourself with the layout of all of these parts. Obviously, your two-way jaw versus a four-way jaw, that's here. We're dealing with a part 52, so we're certainly thinking a two-way jaw. If you've got a four-way jaw, you'll be looking at the RY20089 as referenced here again. Okay, really great and solid machine. If you happen to do some key cutting, you don't own a Rytan machine, I would very much recommend that you consider it for these semi-automatic machines. They're heavy and they're reliable, and they are very accurate, in my opinion. There's also a link to the Master Operation Manual Index. This is basically an owner's guide that has more than one tool listed herein. I just did a find function on my keyboard for RY200, and obviously vice jaws, section 7. It's where you're going to be dealing in. Okay. So, very handy document to have reference to. I've never had to service my RY200 other than changing the cutter after thousands of key cuts. I found that the machine was, it was tearing the material rather than cutting it, and it was definitely time. I was either going to, proceed knowing that I was stressing the entire machine, or simply replace the cutter, which is, of course, is the right thing to do. Now, the important thing is, the shaft on a cutter is a left-hand thread, just because I, many years ago, did not understand how that worked, and I cracked a wrench trying to lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, not realizing how that works. So your inclination to tighten something going to the right is actually loosening it when it's a left-hand thread. So let's take some dimensional properties of this item and finish this video up on the camera. Now here's our quick change assembly removed from its packaging. Okay, just some basic dimensional properties just to archive that data. I don't know if that's what's black. If this is officially black oxide finish, it certainly could be. Overall depth of the quick change looks like it's about 1 5/8 inches. Overall width on the back about 1 1/4 inches, and the height there is about 1 1/4 inches, just a little bit shy. About 5/16 here, and then the front of that about 3/8. Okay. Overall width I didn't give you there. About 1 1/4 inches, maybe I did. Okay. Now, finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Rytan products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the... there's not a full product catalog that they have. They don't have that many products. They manufacture key machines and obviously the parts for them, and some tools as well, locksmith picks. I've been clear about the fact that I'm partial because I've owned the tools, and I can attest to how solid they are in terms of operation. But I'll tell you, if you're going to be in the business of selling tools to locksmiths, I find that there is generally no lack of good technical support from any company that you're dealing with. Rytan, I called them one time, and I had a client who had a clipper or a punch, a code cutter. I don't recall the exact tool. But this client wanted to switch from, don't quote me, but automotive to small format. Some major switch. It may not have been that major, and I don't recall the facts. It was several years ago. I called Rytan. The person who answered the phone not only was ultra pleasant, but had a complete command over the subject matter. The lady in customer service was able to tell me all 7 parts that were needed, gave me the part number of each of them, and then said, when you get the parts, if you need help putting it together, call me back directly. And I said, that goes along with the build quality of the machine. They're one and the same. Excellent quality, excellent customer service. I only wish, frankly, that I had more opportunities to do Rytan business. It's just when you got a key machine that's going to last decades, and if you use it, in an adult setting, you're only buying thrust bearings for it because you've cranked down your handles tens and tens of thousands of times. So, exceptional outfit. If you have any questions on the RY89, quick change assembly, or any other Rytan product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.